Hi guys, so the substitution part is over now, and now we are going to start with the two other methods of integration, that is integration by parts and integration by partial fraction. Now I hope that you know partial fraction from your previous classes because that's a prerequisite for this part. So if you don't know, then do revise the concepts. And in integration by parts, that integral is actually very easy, that there is just a formula which is very easy, but there is a sequence which is derived by Eilert rule. So I'm going to tell you what is Eilert rule and how to order the functions. So let's start. Integration by parts. Now what do we mean by integration by parts? So as you have studied already in the differentiation, that when there are two different functions which cannot be combined and you want to differentiate them, so there is a rule that you will take first function, then second function, and there is a predefined formula. Similar thing happens in the integration as well. If there are two functions which cannot be clubbed, for example log and a quadratic, or exponential and any trigonometric, or any such like those functions which cannot be clubbed, there is a specific rule to integrate those functions. So suppose that there are two functions u and v. Let's say that u is our first function and v is our second function, and these are not combined, this cannot be combined, and you want to integrate these two functions. So the integration is given by first function into integration of second, and then d by dx of first into integration of second. So here the main thing that you need to observe is that you are never integrating u directly. You can see here that you are never integrating u directly. You are first differentiating it, you are combining it some other function, and then you are integrating. So one of those functions whom you think whose integration is a bit difficult, you can take it as u and you can keep it as it is, and you may not have to integrate it. Okay, so this is the main funda behind this. It's that the one which is the typical function, keep it as u and you will never have to integrate it. So this techniques proves helpful in many of the questions, and we'll see them. But first of all, the condition is that how to decide which one to integrate and which one to not. That means whom to take second function and whom to take first function. First function is obviously difficult to integrate, so we are not going to make it as first function. We are going to always make a difficult functions as first functions. There comes the rule, Eilert rule. So I stands for inverse functions. Okay, that is tan inverse x, sec inverse x, and all those functions. L stands for logarithmic. A stands for arithmetic. T stands for trigonometric, and E stands for exponential. Okay, so these are the order of tough functions to integrate. Obviously inverse function is a very tough function to integrate, and then all these functions. Now, so whoever is up in the order, you are going to take it as u. For example, if you have one logarithmic function and one arithmetic function, you are going to take this as first function and this as second. So you are never going to integrate this, and you are always going to integrate this. So take this as u and take this as v. For example, if you have an inverse and an exponential, so obviously by the priority, inverse is above. So the one which is above you don't want to integrate, so take it as u. If it's logarithmic and exponential, the one which is above you don't want to integrate. Okay, so the one which is above, take it as first function and you don't want to integrate, remember them. So this is the Eilert rule. More the priority or higher the toughness of the function, it will be the first function, or you don't want to integrate it. So this is the Eilert rule. Let's apply to some of the problems. So we have got x cube ln x. So ln x is logarithmic, that is L, and a x cube is arithmetic, that is trigonometric. So obviously I am going to take this as first function or u, and this is second function. Now I am not going to write the formula. I am going to directly write the formula by putting the values. So this is first function. Okay, so I am not going to integrate it. So the formula says that integration of x cube ln x dot dx is actually first function, that is ln x, integration of second function minus d by dx of first function. D by dx of ln x is 1 upon x, integration of second function, that is x to the power 4 by 4 dot dx. Okay, integration of x cube is x to the power 4 by 4 dot dx. So this is d by dx of ln x, and this is integration of x cube. So upon integrating further, I am going to get ln x into x to the power 4 by 4 minus x and x will cancel out, So it will again become x to the power of 4 by 16. So that means my answer is this is x to the power 4 by 4. Okay. So my answer will be x to the power 4 by 4 common ln x minus 1 upon 4 and then plus a constant of integration. Don't forget it. Okay. So this is how you can directly integrate this function which couldn't have been integrated if this rule wouldn't have been there. Let's take it to one more question. Sec cube theta. Now here there is only one function and it's all trigonometric. So how are you going to integrate it? This is also very tough to integrate, sec cube theta. So what I am saying is that I am going to deliberately break it into two functions. One is sec theta and another is sec square theta. Why? Because integration of sec square theta is directly available. Okay, integration of sec square theta is 10x, 10 theta. So this is my first function, this is my second function. So priority amongst the same trigonometric function you can see. So what this will become? This will become a sec theta. Integration of sec square theta is 10 theta minus integration d by dx of sec theta is 10 square theta and d by dx of sec x is sec x tan x, sec theta into 10 theta and integration of sec square theta is again tan theta. Okay, so let's say that this integral is I. So I is actually equal to sec theta multiplied by 10 theta minus integral 10 square theta into sec theta dot d theta. Now some of you will say that, sir, we are again going to apply the same rule, we are again going to do it by parts. Some of the question may desire that you need to apply once again the integration by parts. So in some of the questions you may need to apply 2 times or maybe 3 times by parts to get the answer, but here we don't need to apply again. What I can do is that I can carefully substitute it to let me write 10 square as 1 plus sec square theta into sec theta into d theta. What this happens is that if I multiply and if I separate, then integral sec theta dot d theta and then again minus integral sec cube theta dot d theta. Sec cube theta is again I. Okay, so this is minus I here. When it goes to other side, that it will become 2I is equals to sec theta into 10 theta integration of sec x is log of sec x plus tan x and then plus constant of integration. So this 2 you can divide it by 2 and this is your final answer. So you can see that even the function was trigonometric function, I broke it to 2 parts and then I solved. Then I stopped here to see that whether I need to apply by parts again or I can do some manipulation. So I did some manipulation and I got the result. Let's move to the next part. The next part says that it's again a checkpoint. So e to the power x upon 1 by x minus 1 upon x square. So again it's a by parts. This is trigonometry, this is exponential and this is arithmetic. So obviously arithmetic has the higher priority. So but there is one more beautiful way to solve this question. What? Let's see. Let it be I. What is I? I is integral of e to the power x by x minus integral of e to the power x by x square. What I am going to do is that I am going to apply by parts here. So obviously e to the power x is going to be the integrable function. So 1 upon x, integral of e to the power x is e to the power x minus, I am dealing it for the first function only, integral d by dx of 1 upon x is minus 1 upon x square, integration of e to the power x is e to the power x, and then this function remains as it is, minus integral e to the power x by x square dot dx. You can clearly see that my function has been transformed such that these two parts are cancelling each other out mutually. The last two terms, these are cancelling each other out. So they cancel each other out and my answer is e to the power x by x simply. So what happened that the second part which was here, it cancelled the second part of our by part integral. So you have to observe this thing as well, that there is e to the power x upon, how I got this? I knew that if I separate it, then e to the power x by 1 upon x, when I take its second part, so there I have to differentiate 1 upon x and e to the power x will remain e to the power x. That means two same terms are forming. So either they will be cancelled out or clubbed. So with that hope I proceed. So now we'll come to integration by partial fraction. Again, we know what is a partial fraction. So sometimes in doing integration by partial fraction becomes very easy. Like here, if you want to integrate this, I can clearly say that if I put sin x as t, cos x dx dt is available. So cos x dot dx is equals to dt. Dt is available. That means it becomes dt divided by 1 plus t and then 2 plus t. To this, I can again do, now I can do the partial fraction, that is integral. So let's write 1 upon 1 plus t and then minus 2 upon minus 1 upon 2 plus t. So 2 plus t minus 1 and minus t, that will do it, that will do the trick, dot dt. So when I integrate, I am going to get ln of 1 plus t minus ln 2 plus t plus constant. That means my final answer is ln 1 plus t, t is sin x, so 1 plus sin x divided by 2 plus sin x, okay, and then plus constant of integration. That's simple. Let's take a bit tough question which involves a rigorous partial fraction as well as some manipulations. Now all these things that we have studied, all the different forms and all the points to remember, they may come and play their role in any question. So you have to remember all the forms, because it's not necessary that a single question is going to solve either by partial fraction only or by derived substitution or by any other method. It may happen that even a single question involves concepts from different parts. Just like this question. Here x upon x cube plus 1, I am going to solve it by partial fraction. So partial fraction of 1 upon x cube that x upon x cube that I am going to do, x cube plus 1. This partial fraction can be written as, because I know that 1 plus x cube is what? X plus 1, x square minus x plus 1. That's I know. So what I am going to do is that I am going to do the partial fraction of these two terms. That means a upon x plus 1 and then plus cx plus d divided by x square minus x plus 1. So this is what the statement of partial fraction will be, and if you solve this partial fraction, you are going to get a as minus 1 by 3, c as 1 by 3 and d as 1 by 3, as a, c, d are all constants. So now I am going to integrate. So integral dot dx dot dx dot dx, that means integral of this thing will be integral of first part, that is minus 1 upon 3 ln 1 plus x, and then there is a constant of integration. Or of the second part, that looks too weird. Again I can take 1 upon 3 common. This will become x plus 1 divided by x square minus x plus 1. How can I solve this second part? Look here. What is the differential of x square minus x plus 1? If I put x square minus x plus 1 as t, x square minus x plus 1 as t, differential will be 2x minus 1 dot dx is dt. So we are only talking about this term now. Can I do it? Yes, I can form it. What I need to do? I need to do 2 common. Okay, so if I take 2 common and if I divide by 2, then what will happen? X minus 1 by 2 dot dx is actually dt by 2. Okay, so how I'm going to form it is, it's there, x minus 1 by 2. So I add minus 1 by 2 and I subtract minus 1 by 2. Okay, so x minus 1 by 2, and now I can substitute. So x minus 1 by 2 dot dx will become dt, that means dt, and then there will be divided by 2. So 1 upon 2 multiplied, and then this is actually t, because I placed the t. What happened? X and minus 1 by 2 are gone. That means I am left with plus 3 by 2 into 1 upon 3 integral of 1 upon x square minus x plus 1. So that means this become 1 by 6 ln t. T is x square minus x plus 1. So the second part is also over this part. Now what about this part? 1 by 2 integral of 1 upon x square minus x plus 1. I can solve it by making whole square. Look how. 1 upon 2 integral of 1 upon, what I can write it as x minus 1 by 2 whole square. That means 1 by 4. So left over is plus 3 by 4 dot dx. Okay, I made a whole square at the bottom. So if you open it, x square, and then you are going to get minus 2x into 1 by 2, so that will be minus x and plus 1. So plus 1 by 1 plus 3 by 4 will make it 1 by 4. Correct. What is this? This is 1 upon a square plus x square. That means 1 by 2, 1 upon a, that is root 3 by 2 1 by a into tan inverse x by a, so x minus 1 by 2 divided by a, that is root 3 by 2. So this is your final answer. This is the first part, this one is the, and this is the second part, and this is the third part. The combination of all these three terms is your final answer. So you can see that even upon doing the partial fraction, I need to do some substitutions and I need to do some manipulations to reach the answer. So that is I am saying that each and everything that we have studied is important, because they may not come individually in a question, but you may take its help to solve the question. So these were the last two methods that we studied amongst all those three methods. Remember that Eilert rule is very important. You need to remember it in order to number the functions, that which one to integrate and which one to differentiate. So with these three methods, the major chunk is over. Now we are going to study some of those integrals which are algebraic and trigonometric, which cannot be dealt by any of these three methods. They require some extra ways to solve these questions. So in the next part we are going to start with algebraic and trigonometric integrals. Stay tuned.